everybody. Good afternoon to you. How are you? So, I was online last night. I looked at Chantal's latest live called Let's Talk, and I tried reacting to it. I got maybe a quarter of the way through, and I just absolutely turned it off. I, I've, I just couldn't. You know, to give you a brief summary of what was going on, it's the same old stuff, different day. Her coming online and being defensive, going after people in her own audience, bringing up Natter, bringing up BBJ, just stuff that we've heard before. And that's why I got tired. And I'm like, screw a bunch of this noise. I'm getting aggravated. I'm not in the mood. So I turned it off. And I just started bouncing around YouTube looking for something else to do. I thought, you know what? Chantal can wait. There's really no need, no rush to cover her live if I decide to cover it. So I went over to the channel One Salty Beach, and One Salty Beach was doing a great panel with people having a fun time. And she played a video from a very well-educated, well-spoken gentleman by the name of Richard GRANNON. I hope that's how you say his name. Richard was talking about female narcissists, and the video itself is short, but even though he wasn't talking specifically about Chantal, you'd swear that he was. He was bang on the money with absolutely everything he was saying. Big ups and big thumbs up to One Salty Beach for introducing me to Richard GRANNON. So after watching that video and just without even meaning to, he cleaned Chantal's clock. I wanted to react to that video here with all of you watching. And maybe those of you that don't already know about Richard GRANNON, you can go on over to his channel, sub up to it, leave a comment if you like. Because like I said, he's bang on the money with everything he's saying. I wanted to add his video to this react to Chantal, because those of us who are viewers in Girl World, who watch Chantal's content like this, it drives you batty. You know, trying to understand her and the things that she does and why she does them, and just asking the question, why does she lie so doggone much? She's a really bad liar. She's a really bad actress. Why does she continue on this way? What is up with all of this stuff that makes no sense? So to keep us all from going insane, I think it would be helpful to play Richard's video before reacting to her stuff. Maybe there might be some people out there that you have a sort of foodie in your life. You have a narc in your life that may be causing damage or has caused damage, and you're not even aware of it. So maybe being enlightened to certain habits, tactics of narcissists would help you in some way. So that's another reason to play the video. I would like to say before we begin watching Richard, Chantal needs to go to therapy. She needs to go to counseling. She will never go to either one because Chantal's a weak person. Always has been. She's weak. She wants to give the appearance of being strong, but the only strength she has is finding people that are weaker than herself in some way to lie to and manipulate. The only people she wants around her are those that she can suck energy off of or make use of their resources. Anybody who's stronger than she is and she cannot manipulate and she cannot lie to, she doesn't like them. Hence the reason why she hates Girl World. because we're not buying what she's selling for any price. And we can see right through her. And we are the antivirus to her toxic virus. We're not buying into it. We are not easily influenced. We are not sheep. And she doesn't like that. We are not around to be her admirers. We are not here to enable her in her bad habits. So she looks at Girl World and says, they're useless to me because they're not doing what I want. So I'm just going to focus on the people in my personal life and on YouTube that I can make use of until I wear them all out. And then I'll just find another batch of people. So it's all about keeping the fantasy life going and finding people that will help in some way or enable in some way. So I would like to react to Richard's video first and give you guys some insight on the female narcissist. I'm going to leave a link for Richard's video down below in the description. And again, big ups and big applause to One Salty Beach for playing the video last night, because I was watching and I'm like, the man is cooking. Let him cook. He's talking so much truth. If Foodie had to sit in front of someone like Richard for a therapy session, she would not know what to do. She wouldn't know how to act. Squirming the entire time, not able to lie her way out of anything. It would be an absolute nightmare. And I would love that the most for her. But let's get into the video from Richard. And then we'll move on to the Twitter stuff. And then maybe cover at least a portion of her Let's Talk Live. Okay? I think that'd be a good plan. Because I tried to get through it last night. I really did, y'all. But it just made me so frustrated. I'm like, screw her, screw this, goodbye. But I really want to hear what Richard has to say. Very intelligent, very well-spoken, well-educated man is Mr. Richard Grannon. You can see right there, I'm clicking on his name, Richard Grannon, Grannon. And before anybody says anything, yes, he looks like Ragnar from the series Vikings. Hey, I like that series. I had a crush on Ivar. I said so last night, and I mean what I say. So, yeah. Talk to us about the female narcissist, Richard. Tell us about the female narcissist and what to look for and the tactics they use. And trust me, the things that he says about the female narcissist, and keep in mind, this video was done over a year ago. Over a year ago. But you would swear that he's talking about Chantal today. So please take it away, Richard. Talk to us about the female narcissist, the tactics they use, and how to deal with them. Would love to hear from you, sir.
Narcissist can be confusing. Why does she do that? Understanding the female narcissist can be confusing. We typically don't think of women as being narcissists as such, as having narcissistic personality disorder. So when they do, it can be very, very confusing. When you're looking at the communication that you're receiving, first thing to remember is they are not communicating with you as an adult. So everything in the environment would indicate to you that there is you and her, and there's two people talking. There is really only her communicating with herself, and you are an instrument that exists only in her world, not as a separate person, but as a part of her to interact with. That is why if you deviate from that map, her map of reality, which is not reality, her map of reality, you'll see an awful lot of stress. You'll see an awful lot of criticism. You'll see an awful lot of emotional dysregulation.
That part. So let's discuss. Chantal really doesn't have a life off of YouTube. Her life is YouTube. She lives online. Her world is online. Her fantasy is online. She refers to what's going on with her YouTube channel as her story. Notice she doesn't just say, it's my content. No, she describes it as her story. It's her story. Anybody that's ever gone to a library and picked up a book, then you know that stories, for the most part, are made up. They could be all the way true, like an autobiography, or mostly true, or not true at all. Just made up stuff that somebody put together and decided to sell in a bunch of pages. She refers to it as her story. Let it also be known that long ago, Chantal expressed the desire to be on a reality show. But she didn't like the idea of A, not getting paid enough, in her opinion, B, being told what to do by directors and people who own the show. So what she did was make her own version of her own reality show where she controlled everything and she made all the money. But it's always been her story. And over the course of the 8 years, she's come up with different story arcs and episodes, like always switching things around. But it's always been her story. And I think a big part of the problem with Chantal is once upon a time, there was a person by the name of Chantal Marie. And then the character Foodie Beauty got created. And Foodie Beauty, the character, had everything the person Chantal Marie did not. The person Chantal Marie was mostly alone, did not have an interesting life, didn't go anywhere. But the character Foodie Beauty had a channel that the character could turn on a camera any time of the day or night and people wanted to talk to her. And the character Foodie Beauty was the one making all the money and spending all the money and having all kinds of fun times, as toxic as they were. So I think over time, the person Chantal Marie got abandoned and the character took completely over. And not just the character that was created, but also the addiction to food that was left unchecked. And that's another layer. So here we have this person, Foodie Beauty, who is not only narcissistic in her traits, but also an addict. So imagine those two things supercharging each other. Yeah, not a good combo. That is to say, being an addict does not mean you're a bad person. You could be a good person and have an addiction, and the addiction just takes over and tells you what to do. Foodie just happens to be a bad person and an addict. But there's that other layer to the cake, which makes things even more toxic. You've got this narcissistic, selfish, self-centered, self-important, self-absorbed addict. All they care about is satisfying their addiction and gathering people to them to keep it going, to enable them, creating a whole system around that. So it's just, it's a bad combination. Really, really bad. But Chantal has been selfish since she was young. And that's another thing before I forget. They say that the devil's greatest trick was convincing man that he does not exist. But let's talk about the demon known as Chantal. One of the greater tricks that Chantal has convinced people of is that she's completely stupid. She doesn't know what she's doing. You can be really, really stupid in your actions and in your words and be a master manipulator and a master liar. And Chantal's been practicing her craft for years. I've known people in my life that they were not what others would be considered really smart, but they knew how to manipulate and they knew how to lie their way around things. So you can be lacking in intelligence in some ways, but have too much intelligence and experience in other ways that's bad and toxic, and so she is. So she pulls the wool over everybody's eyes and makes them believe she's really stupid. She's out of control. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's dumb. She's smart in ways she shouldn't be. And because she makes people think that she's dumb, she gets away with it. She pulls that wasn't me. I didn't know. I didn't know. Like it's her famous tactic. I didn't know. Wasn't me. Innocent, acting innocent. She's not that innocent. And when it comes to manipulating and lying and conning and scamming people, trust me, she knows what she's doing.
The typical tools that she will use to attack you, to draw you back into performing as you should in the film that she's creating, will revolve around guilt tripping you, making you feel ashamed, and attacking your image of yourself, attacking sometimes your reputation, sometimes your character, but particularly your idea of who you are will be attacked first and foremost. Reactive abuse will be a frequently used tactic because reactive abuse allows her to put herself back into her own story. So let's just go back a little bit. Let's remind ourselves when it comes to narcissistic personality disorder, we're talking about a human being whose coping mechanism, whose maladaptive coping mechanism, which means it's bad for her and bad for the people around her. It's ultimately hurtful. That's what makes it a personality disorder. Her coping mechanism for dealing with reality, for negating reality, and for keeping reality out is to create a fantasy version of herself, a fantasy version of her life, and in a way to be the writer, director, and editor of a film that she's starring in.
Her YouTube channel, her story arcs, the arc that she's got going on right now, the Kuwait arc that all of us, we absolutely hate. No offense, Kuwait. It's not your fault. It's just the things she's done, the things she said, and her behavior. It's nothing to do with the country and the people there. But this is her fantasy world. She wants everyone to believe that she's in Kuwait, living her best life with a much younger husband that absolutely adores her. And even after all the text messages with Kai Bella came out and the illusion was shattered, she still refused to let it go because she didn't have a plan B. She didn't have a backup plan. She did not count on being exposed like that. And that's another trait when it comes to narcissistic people. They are fragile. Their egos are fragile. And if they lie and manipulate, and then they get exposed for the lying in such a way they cannot deny it, they have a total, complete meltdown. I think we all remember the absolute rage. Oh, the delicious rage when FFG got BBJ. That was a real rage. And it wasn't a rage based on, I love my cat and I miss her and I don't like you and I want her back. That rage had everything to do with being a narc and being exposed for being a liar, for being devious, for being abusive to an animal. There was nothing she could do about it. There was nothing she could do to stop the exposure. That's where the rage was coming from. It wasn't about love for an animal that she once owned. It was about this person who is my enemy is exposing me and there's nothing I can do. The worst of my evils is being put online in front of everybody, and now I'm going to be exposed and humiliated and degraded, and my ego pride does not like it. It just doesn't like it. The rage had everything to do with her and her pride, nothing to do with the cat. And even to this day, and it's been a while, Chantal will not stop talking about BBJ. She just won't. She won't leave the subject alone. You can always tell when you're getting close to the truth with someone like her, or you're close to something that she doesn't want you to know, because that's when she gets the most mad, and that's when she reacts the most. Like, she'll lash out at people. Narcissists who lie hate the truth. That is the antivirus to their virus, and they want to keep the Lululand going.
In that movie, typically, not always, but typically, she is the star and the victim.
Boom. Is that not Chantal? Is it not her? With narcs, they're either the hero or the victim, or both at the same time. She's always got to maintain the top position, standing on that hill. Oh, he didn't leave me. I left him. I'm in the right here. And if she can't maintain her top position, then she'll cry victim. Oh, he hurt me. He was so abusive. But she's always got to make it seem like she's the smarter one. She made the right decision. She's never wrong. She's never made a wrong, bad choice. But classic narc move. Either you're the hero or you're the victim in every story you tell.
So typical for female narcissism is that person will want to portray themselves as being the biggest victim in the room. I first encountered this.
And Chantal wants to be the biggest victim ever, to the point where she will make up victimhood. She'll make up lies to be the victim of this or that, or this or that, or this or that. Like, according to Chantal, she's a victim of everything. According to Chantal, she's a victim of DV and SA, and oh, I'm a victim to sciatica. I'm a victim to my diabetes. I'm a victim to my kidney problems. Always the victim. Never the perpetrator, always the victim. And I think one of the main reasons why she does that, it's a don't look over here, look over there tactic. It's deflection, absolute deflection. She herself is an abusive person. She has said so many times. She has self-confessed to being emotionally abusive. She might be physically abusive as well. I mean, there was a story about Pete's saying that he thought Grace Kelly was pretty and she threw a chair. So there might be situations where she's thrown things or done things, but she herself confessed that she's at least verbally abusive. So because she is an abusive person who's also a bit predatory, looking for people who are weaker than herself to latch onto and take advantage of, she's going to employ the look over here, don't look over there tactics. If she says, I'm the victim, she'll find gullible people that will actually believe it, and they won't look into the story. They'll see her half of the painting and not stop and think about, well, there's another side to this. What's the other side? They won't look at the whole picture. They won't care about the whole picture. They'll just hear her and go, oh, that's enough. She must be telling the truth. No, she's not. Chantal's never been the victim. She makes other people into victims. She hurts people. She lies to people. She takes advantage of people. As much as she wants to cry victim, I don't think she's ever known what it is to be a victim. But imagine that, somebody saying that they are something, but making other people into victims and hurting them. But that's what she does.
When my female followers asked me to talk about the experience of what a woman, a daughter, could expect with a narcissistic mother. So I went to a place called the Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers.com, and I started learning about it there. And women were telling me that they were frequently engaged in conversations with their mother, the female narcissist, where they would confusingly find that their mother was always trying to one-up them. For victim would reply, your pain is nothing. You should have seen what happened to me when I was your age. Or your pain is nothing. You should see how I'm living my life now and what I go through right now. Similarly, when a man is interacting with that woman, and that's be a narcissistic, same thing. Whatever pain you're going through, whatever suffering you're going through, you'll never get the satiation of really feeling like you're being heard, like it has to go through the narcissistic filter. And remember, the narcissistic filter is there. It has one job: keep reality, truth, and factual data out so that I can maintain my artificial reality inside of the narcissistic shell. You're prepared to talk real, all of your reality filters. You have to switch off all of your reality filters. You have to switch off all of your moral filters. And you have to play the role that they want you to play, which is female narcissist. They will frustratingly find themselves playing a role that isn't really them. And then afterwards they'll be like, why did I do that? Why didn't I tell her no? Why didn't I negate that ridiculous story? Why didn't I challenge her when she said reality? And to stay there, you're coerced into playing your role. The injunctions that you receive are the following: I am always right. Therefore, in a certain sense, you are always right. For inferior. So if you're always self-effacing, self-humiliating, humble, and passive, and hyper agreeable, fawning,
Oh, like that was a lot to unpack, but let's unpack it. Chantal, in my opinion, doesn't really have a true identity. Those of us who have been watching Chantal for years, I think we can all agree that she acts almost like a chameleon. Every time she gets with a new guy, she changes her identity. She'll change the way she dresses. She changes the way she acts, even down to the way she talks. It's always a new identity. And these things that she does, these changes, have to do with acceptance, being accepted by the new guy, being allowed into his world. Even just a little bit. If you open the door a little bit, she's going to slither her way in. And once she's in the door, once she gets into his house, then she can get to work on establishing and marking her territory and getting leverage over that person, and then ultimately getting control and putting him in a position where the man becomes codependent on her. And then once she figures out that she's got that man under her thumb, then she will become more manipulative, and there'll be more lying and more cruelty and more meanness, because that's just, again, who she is. So it's all about taking things in phases, adapting an identity. And Richard is right when it comes to a narcissist. If you are someone around that person, you are not allowed to have a life. You're not allowed to do anything. And if you do, you're not allowed to talk about it. If you know someone who's a narc, one of the bigger red flags is they'll get on the phone and complain about all their problems to you all day long. But if you start to talk about yourself, they'll immediately hang up or make an excuse. And they're like, oh, I got to go, or if you mention you have a problem or you need someone to talk to, they're never around. They're only around when they need you, or they only call you when there's something that you have that they want. And they're trying to wheedle their way into getting it. And once they get it, poof, they're gone. So Chantal doesn't have her own sense of identity. Hers is constantly changing for the sake of power plays, leverage, manipulation. And at the same time, she doesn't want anybody around her to have a life or have an identity or a social life or friends, because she derives pleasure in doing nothing but controlling people and hurting people.
If you try to exist as a separate person, you'll hear the following injunction. Hear it consciously, but unconsciously it will be delivered. I am going to punish you for having your own will. I am going to punish you from being separate to me. I am going to punish, shame, humiliate, frighten, bully, and threaten and intimidate you now and set.
Think about her YouTube channel, how all of that applies to her YouTube channel. Everybody she's ever brought on. Think about her YouTube channel and her own audience. Using her forum, her channel, to control the Beezers, to talk down to them, to be abusive to them, to intimidate them, to bully them, doing the same thing to people in her personal life. Hence the reason why she has no real friends, because everything to her is content. And she uses the people on her channel as her own personal private army to go after other people. Using her channel as a means to intimidate Pete, Salah, Natter, everybody. She's even said in the past about her many different lovers, Mr. Coffee Guy, Mr. Motorcycle Guy. She has said, oh, like they tick me off. I got a YouTube channel. I'm going to make money off of it. I'm going to talk badly of them, talking about the size of their private parts and if they smelled. Mad because one guy told her, look, it was supposed to be just a one-time thing. I don't want a relationship. She got mad at that and made him into content that day just because he said, I don't want you in that respect. You know, misusing and abusing her own channel and her audience and anybody that comes within 5 feet of her.
You have a job to do. Follow the script, play your role, or get out.
Yeah,
it's my way or the highway.
Thank you for saying that, Richard. So the guy she's with now, Salah, yeah, he's a romance scammer. Yeah, he's a greedy idiot, stupid fool. But I and others feel like she's got something on Salah, and that's why he's sticking around. And he doesn't want to rock the boat, especially with her physically there. And he might be just trying to find a way to cut the strings to get rid of her without rocking the boat too hard. Maybe hoping that Kuwait will help him out and send her home and she can't come back. Or maybe she's got to go home for her health. Just waiting for it to peacefully end. And the thing that Salah doesn't understand is, with someone like Chantal, little Miss Martha, baby reindeer, there's no ending things peacefully with a narcissist. Because even if you go to them and you say, look, we fight, we don't get along, you know this. There's anger all the way around. Why don't we just peacefully walk away from each other? Just agree to disagree, even if everything you're saying makes perfect freaking sense. Because they did not propose the idea first. Because they didn't walk away first. It wasn't their idea. Or it may not be at that moment what they want to do. They're going to take great offense. And they will punish you. How dare you walk away from me even though I'm hurting you and you've had enough? I'm not done controlling you. I'm not done hurting you. Who do you think you are? That's the attitude they're going to take. Like they're going to take offense to another person just simply executing a sense of self-preservation and reaching their tolerance level, and they just can't go any further. But yeah, she's all about that, punishing people, intimidating people, using her audience, using her forum. Always has been, always will be.
In these environments, in this kind of a psychological setting, how do you have reconciliation?
You don't.
How do you have an adult to adult, authentic, honest, vulnerable conversation?
I already know the answer. You really, really don't. You can't. There's no words you can say. There's no approach you can bring out that's going to work. It's not going to work. It's not. I know I dealt with one years ago. It's not happening.
You don't.
Right.
You must learn to abandon all attempts at sincere communication when communicating with the terminally insincere.
Mm-hmm.
All the information you give at a later date as ammunition to attack you, to attack your sense of self, to attack your reality. When dealing with the female narcissist, which is the smother mother.
I love that. I love that term, smother mother, because that is so Chantal. She comes off as a caring, compassionate, empathetic, generous woman. She is anything but. She puts on that false face of, I have all these appealing traits. I'm such a wonderful person, but she's not. She's so far removed from those things that she literally has to fake it, and she doesn't fake it very well. But she still puts on the mask. Then she goes to the dock with her fishing pole and a little golden fishing hook, baited with money, throws it in the water, and see what fish will bite. And less fish have been biting that hook. Because in all the time she's been on YouTube, she's never fixed herself. Not even a little bit. And she's at the point now where she's too much to handle. And that's another reason why I feel she's hanging on to Salah, because he is, in my opinion, the last one. Her money's going down. Her health issues are increasing. And any man would look at her and say, no, the juice is not worth the squeeze. The money that you're paying me is not going to be worth you controlling me and smothering me and sucking all the oxygen out of the room and making my life miserable. No, thank you, ma'am. Goodbye. So she's hanging on to Salah for dear life, literally for dear life. She wonders why she's alone. I mean, the answer is right there in her face. Because she's a miserable person who makes other people miserable. Angry people always end up alone for a reason. And if the angry person is a narcissistic, severe addict whose only care is to feed the addiction, I mean, just that there's no saving that. There really is no saving that.
You will be subsumed into her reality. You'll be absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want to know how you feel.
Nope.
She wants to tell you how
Right.
you feel. She doesn't want to know what you think. She wants to tell you what you think.
Well, think about Chantal on her YouTube channel. She gets online and she just wants to talk and talk and talk. She doesn't care about her audience. She wants them to shut up and listen and give her super chats and give her views. That's it. That's their job. She's not caring of her audience. She cares about what the audience can give her. Classic narc move.
It's a very invasive narcissistic abuse. Ask married to a female narcissist. Ask any woman who has a female narcissist as a mother. Predominantly, they will talk in terms of fear, of claustrophobia, and of feeling completely suffocated. The dominance that she wants cannot be asserted. It can't be given through assertive. It's very evasive, and it seeks to completely eradicate your identity so that she can place her identity into that space. This is frightening and dangerous, because if spirit.
Haven't I said that before, y'all? Haven't I said that before about Chantal? Chantal's mentality is, if she spends money on you, if she spends time with you, if she creates a YouTube channel for you or brings her audience over to you, the more she does for you, the more she feels like you owe her, and then it ends up she owns you. And she does not let go of anyone or anything that she owns, even if she doesn't want it anymore. She will keep the mentality of, I don't want it, but I don't want anybody else to have it. It was once mine, it's always mine. Even if it makes me unhappy, I'm going to stick it in the closet and forget about it, but I'm not going to let anybody else touch it. She will never let go of anything that she has in her possession or in her crosshairs. Look at every relationship this woman has ever had or tried to have. Look at Pete's. She ran through him like a freight train, put him in debt more than once. The last time was her living at the villa with him. His name was on the lease. She did a lot of damage to the villa to the tune of over $5,000. It's been 2 years. Has he moved out of that tiny room in the older couple's house? No. That should give you a clue that he's still trying to get his credit figured out and pay off the debt. She's cheated on Pete. And even though she hurt him, and the kindest thing she could do is to cut him completely loose, she won't. She's using him as a backup. He is forever her doormat. Just keeping him around in case she needs him rather than let him go. Always about keeping things in her back pocket, especially things from her past. She doesn't shut doors as she should. She's always leaving them open just in case she needs them open, in case she needs an escape room, which keeps the door open to her hurting whoever that person is even further. She's toxic.
And you can see that with some people. They're walking around and they're, we say in the Jungian psychology, anima possessed. Possessed by the spirit of an angry and bitter and spiteful female narcissism is...
And that is the craziest thing, isn't it? This person, Foodie Beauty, who believes she's the biggest victim in the world, that she's the victim of everything and anything, is the one making everyone else and everything else into victims. All the people that she's hurt, all the friends that she's betrayed. Even her into victims, subjecting them to abuse and neglect and filthy living conditions. They were victims. And thank God they got away from her. Thank God. But claiming to be the victim of something when she makes others into victims by her own hand. All to take the focus off of her being a predator, being a narc, and just being an overall evil beach.
It's pervasive. It's quiet. It's pernicious. And it has a slow drip effect.
Yep.
It's a slow poison delivered carefully, and so she will make you feel like it's you that's doing it to yourself.
Yep. Gaslighting, she does that all the time.
It's a corruption of your will, of your intent, and of your identity at the core level. If she can do that, she can possess you, and then she's won.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, once she's won, once she's done all this work to put you under her control, the moment that you're under her control, she gets bored. Like there's no challenge. Once the challenge is gone, she loses interest. She starts rolling her eyes and making the ugly faces, and she moves on to the next. So she'll work and she'll fight to get you under her control. But the moment that happens, it's on to the next guy, and then the next, and the next, and the next. It's like a big game to her. She fought to get Pete under her control. Once that happened, she got bored, moved on to Natter. And she tried for over a year to get Natter under control. That never worked. She was fascinated by Natter because he told her no. And she only gave up on Natter when he moved in with another woman hours away from her, and he was in another woman's house. Then she had to move on to somebody else. But that was the only way he could get completely away from her. If he had stayed at the crack house alone, she'd still be going over there, knocking on the door, peeping in the window like she did that one night.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and for your attention. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you, Sir Richard, for such a great video. And thank you again to One Salty Beach for introducing me to Richard. I'm going to be watching a lot of your videos, Richard, because I've dealt with narcissists in my life who've done a lot of damage, done a lot of horrible things. So I look forward to learning from you, sir. And I hope that anybody else watching this video, that maybe if there's somebody around them that is a narcissist, that there's maybe created some self-awareness about it, at least enough to be on guard to where anybody who's selfish and narcissistic and just bad, you can put the antivirus in your system to where they can't hurt you anymore. So, okay, there was that. So let me just go ahead and stop the screen, and we're going to go over briefly to Twitter. And I purposely played Richard's video first. I purposely put it first because when we get to the clips on Twitter and when we get to Chantal's video, you're going to see a lot of what he's talking about. Like, you just keep everything that he just said in that short clip in mind when you're watching a little bit of Chantal. You're going to see what a manipulative, narcissistic witch she is. Absolutely, she is. Let me just go ahead and make sure that I am where I need to be. Oh, oops. What happened? Hold on a minute. I'm just, there we go. All right. Where is it? Okay. Sorry. All right. We're getting it together. I promise. I just had to get on the right page. All right. So for those of you that are on Twitter, you want to follow me on Twitter. There's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. All right. So Cowboy Dog says, yes, thank you. I just wanted to remind people that the woman talking this much crap mopped her carpet and closet walls. And this is courtesy of Dell on Earth saying this one. So this was Chantal back in the villa. And please keep in mind, she moved in with Pete and she lived exactly how she wanted to live. Nobody forced her to live in a messy place with the fruit flies and 10 tons of garbage on her floor. Like, everything was by choice. And she was making good money then. If she wanted to get a pet sitter or someone to care for the pets or to clean the house, she could have easily have done it. And that money that she spent on those things wouldn't have been a dent in the income that she had. So there was no excuse for her living so sloppy. But there you go. Let me go ahead and let me see. There's one thing from Cowboy Dog I wanted to capture. Please tell me that I saved it. Okay, yes, I did. So Cowboy Dog, this is the narcissist's prayer. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. Yep. That's so Foodie doesn't pray. But if she did, that would be her prayer. All right. So this is from Shenanigans saying, and this has to do with a previous live stream she did when she went to go get coffee and the donut. Shenanigans says, a bank card she put her money into. No way in heck he could either be modding her chat from the bedroom or out with his friends 24/7 while holding down an actual job. Chantal is his job. Yep, I've said that. Truth Seekers says, what man lets his wife hold on to their own credit card? So she controls who he talks to, who he is with, and what he spends of his own money. Seems like it's the other way around. Was he always there being quiet and pretending to be gone? More than likely. I mean, she can't be there by herself. What if she got hurt? There's no one there's going to pick her up. But let's watch the clip.
Oh. Hi.
Just use it, baby, for your eyes.
Babe. When did you get here?
I'm here.
I had the camera showing the sky.
For the sun. Oh my god.
Hey, babe, I should have saved you a sip.
No, it's okay. I'll go.
You want to go get...
It's so, you know what? Can I just say, it's so weird. Like the moment that he's around, her whole demeanor changes, her voice, she puts on that ridiculous baby voice. It's so weird to me how she just can't be herself. Like she just slips right into another character for another dude.
your own self something?
Yeah.
I have your bank card in here.
What kind of a marriage is this that you have your wife carry your bank card? What kind of a marriage is that, Salah? That she has your bank card. Control issues much, Chantal? You won't let him have a bank card? Are you afraid of him spending a little bit of money? Are you afraid that he might go off to the red room or, God forbid, buy some food to eat since you eat all his food? He'll go out and get the food for you and then get a simple quesadilla and you'll snatch it out of his hand. And that's another thing when it comes to narcs. Another red flag when dealing with a narcissistic person, an abusive person. Once they lock on target and you are the target, they will isolate you away from anybody around you that might be an outside influence that will not agree with their narrative, that will not agree with their actions. If they sense or pick up that your family, your friends, your co-workers, your employees, or anybody, if there are people that might be voices of reason that might try to talk to you and point out the toxic things going on, and that would interfere in their sense of control, they will try to isolate you away from those people as much as possible. They might tell you to don't go around your friends. Don't go back to work. Stop working. Stop going to school. They don't want you to feel independent and strong and for you to have a sense of true self. What they want to do is take your sense of self and put it in their back pocket and control it and manipulate it and treat you like a piece of silly putty. So here's Chantal holding on to the bank card, making sure that Salah doesn't spend any money, also making sure that he doesn't go anywhere. And this is supposed to be a happy marriage? Controlling your husband, not letting him have a life, not letting him spend time around friends or family, just being an overall miserable hag, and he's supposed to be happy with it? And you wonder why you're alone a lot, Chantal.
Your bank card's here if you want to get yourself something.
How embarrassing. I mean, even if she is hanging on to the bank card, to say that on live stream in front of people so that everybody knows she's hanging on to his money. How embarrassing. She calls this a real marriage, but why would you embarrass your husband publicly like that if you really cared about him?
A wild Salah appears. Hey, handsome.
So what was the thinking, Chantal? I'm going to go get a coffee, get a donut. Salah's going to leave me alone for about a half hour to make sure that he's not having too much fun. I'm going to take the bank card away. and you wonder why he hates you. Okay, some palate cleanser from Vegan, a show off from the orcas. Look at that. Can you imagine being in the boat and seeing that? That would just be terrifying and awesome all at the same time. Orcas are just, they're too incredibly smart. Look at that. The orcas are just showing off, having a good time, showing off in the water. And then the one on the right saying, look at me, photo bomb. All right. Let's see. Nature is amazing. This is a platypus, duck-billed, web-footed, otter-like, furry, and absolutely adorable. The platypus. Yep. The platypus looks like whatever the higher power is. The higher power said, you know what? I'm just going to F around today and see what I can make. And let's put all these spare parts together. And out came the platypus. But the platypus is cute. It looks unusual, but it's cute. Shenanigans says, as someone who's been married for 21 years in a 24 plus year relationship, I can confidently say that I've never discussed any maritable arguments online. Chantal used to understand that notion when she was with BB before she turned her personal life into spectacle for views. Yep. Yeah, if you really love your husband, you do not put your business out there on Front Street in front of strangers and make things embarrassing and more humiliating than what they have to be. You get a problem with your mate, keep it private. You know, show some respect and care about the relationship and your partner by doing that. She doesn't know how. Amberlynn's dangling foot says, Foodie Beauty, quote, I don't use filters on my lives. You sure about that? So the picture on the left is obviously a filtered picture of Chantal, and the picture on the right, this is when Chantal was at Natter's place, and he had no filters on his phone. Because look at the difference that filters can make in the shape of the face, in the skin texture, all of that. What a difference that filters can make. And this was before she gained about 200 pounds. All right. Florida Salt and Sass says, yep, 100. Just pretend to love her. Girl World Lurker says, Salon now knows that he can pursue anyone, anytime, and be caught. And all he needs to do is say, I love you, and get her gas station roses. As she is so lazy, she would rather accept an obvious lie than start over. So sad. Yep. Like she's easy to please. You make her mad. You know how to make her happy. She's so stupid and gullible. All right, MASH. Hi, MASH. MASH says, I'd like to point out that either private hospital or public, Foodie needed a plane ticket in order to asking, because she's a lying liar who lies about lies she posts on the internet. So let's look at the picture. It says, if you are a citizen of a country with which Kuwait has a visa-free regime, you do not need a visa to enter. If you are a citizen of a country that requires a visa to Kuwait, you should apply for a visa for treatment at the nearest embassy. What documents are required to obtain a visa for treatment in Kuwait? 1, a valid passport. 2, a letter of approval for hospital treatment in Kuwait from the Ministry of Health. 3, a copy of the sponsor's identification number, hospital. 4, detailed medical report on the disease. 5, air ticket booking. Because you can't get a visa without showing you have a return ticket. That's just the rule. So I don't know why Chantal was saying she had to buy a ticket. She already had it bought. All she did was just change the date around to 23rd, like July 23rd. That's when she's leaving. 6, proof of solvency, cash with you, and a bank card. 7, medical insurance. So why are you lying, Chantal, and telling us that you had to buy a ticket when it was already bought? You had to buy it when you got the visa. Stop lying to people. Stop lying to people. Cowboy Dog says, every now and then, narcs will have a moment of sudden clarity regarding the profound emptiness in their life. Salah called her fat. Her brain snowballed, and she knew her entire life was a sham. Salah is a user. She will unalive young. She wanted the escape to comfort of home. Then it was gone. Yeah, like the light bulb came on for a minute, and then it turned back off. Okay, all of you people out there that you like rocks and crystals, look at this. An enormous obsidian stone split in half. And for those of you that are wondering, what is obsidian? Well, basically, it's volcanic glass. And for all of you rock hounds, obsidian is great for cleansing your energy. It's good for protection. It's good for a lot of things. So if you don't have some obsidian, go ahead and get some. It doesn't have to be that big, though, I promise. Let's see. Truth Seeker says exactly. And the one VIP who was instantly deleted and blocked because they told her what it was instead of sugarcoating it. It is a toxic relationship because she is the toxic one. She will never admit to being the one who is the problem. It's always because she's impulsive. No, it's because he said no. Day-to-day Ray says facts. Vanished says at Teardrop, it's not about being perfect. It's the obvious signs of a relationship being super dysfunctional and toxic. And that's another thing, y'all. The live we're about to go over, she's fighting with a lot of people. She's going after a lot of people. She was blocking a lot of people. Fighting with her own audience. Blocking them people left and right. And she doesn't have many beezers left. She chose to put her business out there. She chose to gaslight people. She chose to get on live stream with the Some News live stream, trying to scam people out of money. And then when she got called out for it, she went on the defensive and saying, no, I didn't ask anybody for money. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear that she wanted to fight with people. And she thinks she's smart, fighting with people. But what she's doing is destroying her own audience. So have at it, Chantal. The more lies you tell, the less people trust you, the more they want to watch you on your channel, and the more you're increasing the girl world audience, by the way. Let's see. The DX. All right, Misanthropope Lulu, hashtag foodie. No, it's because you couldn't manipulate gonads, period. You're a predator who found the perfect target. Talking about Salah. Stop the cap, ma'am. Only your morons believe you. Yeah, let's watch the clip.
I'm fine. Hi, Leslie Cat. I'm fine. If you look at my track record, if you look at my history, all the time that I was like involved with that gross, evil woman beating swordfish, I would fall apart on like almost every live stream. I was like not okay. Like even people like, are you going to go down the long road? Like, you know, like I was always not okay. So,
okay, you know what, Beezers? Listen, if you don't like me, you're coming over here and you don't like me. That's okay. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like or be a fan of or admire someone to listen to words of truth, to get the download, to get the information. So for any Beezers coming over here, if you want truth, let me give you some truth that you may not be aware of. And certainly Chantal's not going to tell you. Let me just point some stuff out as someone that I've been reacting to her for years. And I was there during the Natter arc. Let me give you some bullet points. Natter never had a car. The only way he was able to go by car to Foodie's house at the villa that she shared with Pete is if Chantal got him an Uber. 99.999% of the time that she saw Natter, she had to get in her Kia and go over there, just driving to his house, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. She was never a victim. Never. She had her own place. She had her own money. She had her YouTube channel. She could have chosen at any given time to cut everything off and it would have been a done deal. She was buying him groceries. She was paying his rent. She bought him the iPad. She took him on trips to Montreal, trying to seduce him with her money. She was in control, but she could have cut it off. And if anything happened between the two of them that she didn't like, she could have walked out the door and not come back, but yet she kept going back. So this whole picture that she's painting for all of you gullible people that you've not been around to know these things, don't believe it. This woman is narcissistic. She is evil. She's a liar. She's manipulative, and she's always going to show you half the picture. But if there's anybody out there that you know something about a situation, then you will also remember there are 3 sides to a story. There's her side, there's his side, and then there's in the middle where the truth is. But she will always give you her version. And she doesn't want anybody knowing the other side. Because the other side is where the exposure is of how much of a liar and a controller she is. And I don't like Natter, so let's make that known. I don't like the dude. He's a scummy person. But truth is truth, and right is right, and wrong is wrong. She hung out with Natter. It started out as a financial agreement, much like the one she's got with Salah. She wanted to manipulate her way into his life. She integrated herself into his life. She tried to use her money and her channel to seduce him, to appeal to his sense of greed. For a very short period of time, it worked. But she tried to turn that financial arrangement, agreement, contract into a romantic relationship. She did not consult him on how he felt. She just kept pushing and pressuring him to be linked with her. He did not want to, and all kinds of drama ensued. And then another woman came into the picture, and she just went off. So it was a constant back and forth between her and Natter, but never in any of it was she the victim. She walked into it with her eyes open. She paid her way into his life. She used him for content. So she cannot say, oh, he used me. You used him too, Chantal. You used him for content. You used his name. You used his face. You used the drama. You made lots and lots of money. You did. The two of you ping pong back and forth, using each other for clout, views, whatever. But you were never the victim. You've always been a liar. You've always been a predator. You prey on people. You look for the weak. You look for any kind of weakness in anybody and you pounce on it. But you've never in your life been a victim. Because if you had been a victim of anything, someone who's been a victim, someone who's been abused, someone who's been hurt, someone who's been lied to, I would think that hurt that you've experienced, you would have enough respect to not deliver that same kind of pain to somebody else. So the fact that you have no respect for other people, that you'll exploit and monetize anything, kind of tells me you ain't experienced nothing, you big liar. You have no sense of empathy. None. None at all.
Like, you guys would know more often if I was like not okay most of the time. You know, most of the time, like I would say like 99.5% of the time, we are happy together. We're silly. We, you know, like, so it's you guys, like, for sure. Cause I do wear my feelings on my sleeve a lot.
You don't really have any feelings. You just have your impulses, but okay, whatever you say. But the life you led in Canada, it was completely by your choice. Nobody forced you. You lived how you wanted to live. And now you're in Kuwait saying, oh, it was so miserable. But you lived how you wanted to live. So if you were miserable, whose fault is that? You chose that misery. Every single piece of that puzzle, you chose it. So let's watch the clip from Kristen.
I didn't go to my education or any appointments yet. I have my reason, but I will be going.
Yeah, you know the reason why she's not going to her appointments or her therapy? Because, like, why? She's not going to listen. And she doesn't want people in her face telling her, you need to lose weight. Here are your issues. You need to work on them. She doesn't want to deal with real life. She wants to stay in Delulu land.
Like in the future.
You know, narcissists do not like being told that they don't have a perfect life, that they've done wrong to themselves, and they need to fix it. So she'll avoid the work. She will. And I want to read this again. I've showed this on my stream, my react before, but let's show it again from Cuban Moreno. This is how predictable you are, Chantal. That somebody actually made a list of your little script and put it up. But let's read it again for context. If you go to Canada, this is exactly what's going to happen. 1, and this is courtesy of Miss Floopa Booty. Mrs. Floopa Booty, all I have to say is bravo and brilliant for coming up with this. 1, go to Canada during breakup visa run, get high as balls, eat tons of fast food, live stream from rental car or borrow Kia back from Aunt Phyllis. Tell Salah to join chat in a live stream. Say, I miss you, babe. Give forlorn stare into the camera. ERBs to get blood sugar down after gorging on junk. Collect gifts from Shmi. Ask Shmi to cut your toenails. Go live and tell everyone I'm going back to Kuwait. Say the health care there is better, cost of living is lower, and you miss your family. Say Salah isn't the problem, I am because I'm impulsive. Get new tourist visa, vlog the trip back to Kuwait, sit in the fart box for 3 months and eat. Repeat steps 1 to 13. See how we can predict you, Chantal? That's exactly what you do every time you go home to Canada. Although I really pray and I hope that this time, the moment you get back on the plane, Salah, he goes back to the house and he disappears. If he's got any kind of brain cells, he will jump through that window of opportunity and get gone. If he's smart, that's exactly what he'll do. Shenanigan says, what now? That's exactly how I felt when I saw her. I'm like, what is it? What is it, Chantal? What is it now? What? Jeez, what is it? Okay, palate cleanser from Yog. Mama Swan carrying her little babies. Look at the babies. What, they can swim, and when they're done swimming, they can crawl on mom's back. That is precious. And look at this from out of context, dogs. Look at the puppers. Look at that face. A puppy's smiling, and he's got the biggest eyes. That's a well-loved dog. Look at that. Dogs are so cute. I have cats, but dogs are so cute. That is a precious baby right there. You fall in love with a face like that. All right. Punch Cat says, what kind of Pokemon is this? Beautiful, beautiful cat. And I love the different colored eyes and face. Unusual and awesome. Just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Okay, I think that's it for the recap with that. Okay, so we're doing good for time. Slightly over like what I normally do for just Twitter by itself. We did include the video from Richard. And again, I will leave a link for that video in the video description. You guys can check out his channel. I recommend his videos for anyone that you think that you might be dealing with a narcissist or you have dealt with one. You want to be educated about that. Like he sounds like he knows exactly what he's talking about. So check out his channel if you can. And we're going to move on to freaking Foodie. Go away, Foodie. You suck. So this video was posted 21 hours ago, like almost a day ago. And it's got less than 10,000 views. Shame, shame. Well, Chantal, if you really want some good views, you know what you got to do. You got to go home to Canada. Leave that loser behind. He ain't doing nothing for you. He's doing nothing for your channel. But it's up to you. If you want to lose absolutely everything or start over again, but, you know, enjoy your misery. enjoy it. So let's get started with this.
I also had paneer for dinner. Paneer mashallah. It's normal, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I'm feeling great today.
Before we get deep into this, I was on Twitter and I saw something. There was a person, I'm going to say the name, BBW Veronica. Now, I don't cover Veronica on my channel, but according to BBW Veronica, she and Chantal share a Fraudy client, and that goes back and forth between them. And according to Veronica, and I'm just reporting the news, I'm not a fan of this person, but according to Veronica, just take this with a grain of salt. According to her, this client, this male client, has said that Chantal, like, she is really into the bedbound fantasy, really into it, that she's fully embraced it. And there's, I guess, was talk about this client and Chantal being bedbound together. It's really sick. It's like she's really into this whole idea of laying in the seal position and getting bedbound. Do I think it's stupid? Do I think it's dangerous? Yes. But this is what Chantal's choosing to do. This is her fantasy life, I guess. But take it all with a grain of salt. You guys can tell me what you think in the comments. But let's get started with her live regardless.
Hey, I'm feeling great, Miss Potato Head's dry ponytail. I said I'm leaving about 12 times for non-serious things. Yeah. Exactly.
And while you're watching this, think about Richard's video. All the narcissistic traits that she has and the way she treats her audience and the way she talks to her audience.
So, you know what? That's it. That's all. That's all that happens. I know people want to make things more than they are, but I'm sorry to tell you, there's nothing more to it. Hi, Knick Knack Beauty. My husband and I broke up once and now we are married. Sometimes it just takes communication and time to work things out. It happens. Yeah. And sometimes I get in really just moods. Thank you, Issa P. My skin? Thank you. I have makeup on.
You got a skin smoothing filter. Shut up.
It's between us, I know. And it should always stay that way. I didn't really elaborate on what was going on. Like, I was just going through a hard time and just wanted to, I guess, vent a bit. But yeah.
By the way, Chantal, I've been married for real twice. And when you have a partner, that partner, if they are real, they're not just some paid for YouTube rent-a-husband actor. If you love your partner, then there should be a sense of trust. You should trust them. They should trust you. They should be able to come to you and talk to you and know the things they say will be kept private, away from everybody else's ears, and you should have the same privilege. Now, when you have a partnership with somebody, even if it's not a marriage, it's just friend to friend, and you violate that respect and that trust by weaponizing your own audience and putting all your business out there every chance you get, every time you get mad. What you're showing the other person is you can't be trusted with anything. You can't be trusted with secrets. You can't be trusted with any kind of thoughts. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to hang out with you and have a coffee date and discuss things. Because in the back of their mind, they're wondering, these things that I'm saying, are they going to be her content? Is she going to use them as weapons against me later? Probably. So what you're doing by being so public and being so vindictive is that you're creating more and more distance away from the person you want to get close to. And then you get mad and say to yourself, why aren't they close to me? Why aren't they talking to me? We'll flip the table around. If somebody was doing to you what you do to others, would you talk to them? Would you want to say anything to them? Probably not.
Everyone goes through rough patches. Yeah. I don't know what that means, eggs on legs. Hi, Allison. You liked the Evil Queen makeup? Yeah, that was fun. That was a really nice purple color. Oh, no, I don't want a big wedding ever. I don't like them at all.
Are you kidding me? She'd love a big wedding. This narcissistic witch not wanting a big wedding? Are you kidding me? She wants to feel like a celebrity. She wants to feel like somebody important. If somebody said, hey, Chantal, I got $1 million and I'll throw it all down for you in Salah. I'll pay for a banquet hall and a dress and flowers and whatever you want and send you guys off on the best honeymoon ever. She'd be all about that life. But since she's the one paying the bills and paying for everything, she can't afford a big wedding because weddings are super, super, super expensive. If she's over there trying to figure out how to travel for just, say, a week or two, she doesn't have enough money for a wedding. So she's trying to reframe it as, I don't want a big wedding. It's so unappealing to me. It's unappealing because you're broke. But I'm sure there's nothing you'd like better than to take some pictures of a wedding and say, look, girl world, I'm really married. Look at me. I've got a big wedding. Where's your wedding? You would do it for bragging rights, if nothing else, Chantal.
You know? Well, you're not me, Greta. So, hi, Robin. Totally understandable. Yeah. I'm okay, Jenna. You are allowed to change your mind. Exactly. It's not illegal. You know?
See, what she did this day is that people were coming in, and those that agreed with her, those that were yes men, she allowed to stay. And anybody who slightly disagreed or gave her a little bit of criticism, they got the block button. So this person, Greta, said, I couldn't imagine announcing to thousands of people that I was separating from my husband and then staying. And then another person, Baby Jane, said, why don't you go to therapy instead of using your audience as a crutch? Yeah, that's what she should do. But I just showed you guys an example of perhaps somebody that if Chantal went to therapy, what she'd have to deal with. Somebody who would sit in front of her. They would see through all of her nonsense. They would call her out on all of her lies. And by doing that, they would basically pop that Delulu bubble she's got around herself. They would have to get to the heart of the matter and to the heart of the issues. And she doesn't want that. She wants to keep her fantasy world going. She doesn't want anything or anyone interfering in it. She just wants to live in it and not be bothered. So a therapist, a counselor, a teacher, somebody educated would bring the walls crashing down.
Hello, Charles. So, yeah. April, I'm sorry your jealousy is seething today.
Who's jealous of you, Chantal, and why should they be jealous? I'm asking the question. I'm looking for an answer that makes sense. What is it about you and your life that people should be jealous of? What do you have? And what have you done that we couldn't also have and that we couldn't do? So you travel to another country. That's something any of us could do. So you got a little bit of money. Those of us that are watching as reactors or in the audience, we could make money. You don't have good health. We do. There's a lot of things that we have that you don't. But we don't get online saying, jealous, Chantal? Are you jealous? When you say that, it sounds very, very immature in high school. I don't know who put that stuff in your head of, oh, they're jealous of you, cutie. but no one's jealous of you. You don't even have a real life to be jealous of. To have a life worth anything, you had to make up a life. You had to create a fantasy world in your head and stay in that fantasy world and believe that that fantasy world is a real thing. You do not have a real life that anybody would be jealous of. Not at all.
Really? Sorry. I feel bad for you. Married for 10, marriage is hard and doesn't come with a handbook. For sure, yeah. And when you have your own problems and you're like with somebody, it's even harder, you know? That's cool, Jenna. You know? Eggs on legs, just let me worry about my marriage. You don't have to worry about any legality. You don't have to worry about anything. That's for us to worry about. Keena, oh no, I thought I saw Keena. Meg. The hamburger and mac dish she made brought me back to my childhood. Yes. Just left Cincinnati for transplant and can listen. Transplant? I wish you well. I don't constantly tell about my personal problems, but sometimes, yeah. You know? Where's your proof that we don't have a real marriage? Where's your proof of that?
And that's a tell from Chantal. That's how you can tell when she's lying. Where's the proof? You got to show the proof. You're so predictable, Chantal. Whenever you say that, where's the proof? That means people are really, really close to the truth. And you know it. And it bothers you. You know, Chantal, I was watching some different people this morning, like No Madness Life. And like this has been brought up on the internet more than once, that you're over in Kuwait. You've been there for 2 years and you do not know how to write or read or speak Arabic. So, question, how do you know when Salah hands you papers to sign and they are not in English? Do you know what you're signing? Do you have any idea? You know, for all you know, he had been pilfering your money and scrolling it back all this time and just waiting for the right moment to leave. Or having you sign contracts that are binding and you can't get out of. I mean, if you don't know what the paper says, then how do you know what you're putting your signature to? You really, really don't. You really don't. We called it long ago that this whole thing with Salah, it was the long scam. Some romance scammers, they go for the quick hit and out. This has always felt like a long-term scam. Just you're the fish on the fishing line, and he's reeling you in slowly to the point where you don't even realize you got the hook in your mouth. And he's out for whatever he can get out of you, and at the appropriate time, he's going to leave. Going to leave you high and dry. And I think it's safe to say that anymore, given your lack of health, given the fact that you're really close to being bedbound, he and others around him, they might be having discussions and meetings about you and saying to themselves, you know, we brought her here because we thought this would be really lucrative for business, but she has turned into a risk and a liability. Her health is failing. She's having more medical bills. It's costing money. And who knows what's going to happen to her. So maybe the safest thing to do is to get rid of her. Meaning to send you home before something happens. So if something does, you are not a concern. But whenever you have people that enter into a business together, the business works when it's working. When all parties are in agreement and it's profitable and it makes sense. But when a business deal becomes not profitable and aggravating and stressful and abusive, that's when those involved are going to look at it and go, why am I here? What is the point? I think I want this thing to end. So you want to hang on to Salah, and yet you are not doing all that you can financially to keep him happy, so that he looks at you and says, yeah, she's a big pain in the butt, but I'm making X amount of dollars per month, so I can justify being around her and putting up with all this aggravation. You're getting lazy. You're not working as much. You're eating more food. I mean, he's looking at the whole thing, Chantal. He's taking inventory. You're too much trouble anymore, and there's not enough cash to make up for it.
Okay. If you want to think that, go for it. More power to you. They all use filters, and most of them don't even show themselves on camera. So I guess it's just jealousy at this point.
I'm showing myself on camera, but even if there's somebody out there not showing themselves, this is not a fashion show. You can sit and react with or without an avatar on. What does what a person look like have to do with it? Not a doggone thing. I mean, if we're going to talk avatars, Chantal, you right now, this moment, you're not coming on camera with your natural face. You're using filters on top of filters on top of filters. Ma'am, you've got a head covering on. You've got the face, the head Spanx. You've got the contour filter. You've got the skin smoothing filter. You've got the big eye filter, the big lip filter. You got all the max filters working on that Samsung phone. So you basically have a living avatar, but it's still an avatar because that's not what you really look like. So before you criticize people for using an avatar, just remember you use one yourself.
You know? It was more to that, Brownie, actually. Nobody knows exactly what was going on. And yeah, that's it. There's nothing more to it. There's nothing more to say. So think what you want. Do treatments out.
She wonders why her money is going down. Look at the way she's talking to people in her own chat, being all kinds of snotty and snarky and rude. I mean, even if somebody's coming at you with a question that might rub you the wrong way, you can handle it with grace. Because you're not just talking to that person who's asking the question. There are other people in the room, and they're hearing everything. They're seeing everything. And they might look at her rude attitude and go, you know what? She's just too snotty for my taste. I'm out of here. So keep on doing live streams like this, Foodie. All you're going to do is increase the girl world audience. And it's your fault.
At home. Yeah. I have SpongeBob shaped craft in the pantry, and I'm pumped. They have SpongeBob shaped craft dinner? What? Hi, Mish. I threaten everything every second of the day. Yeah, I don't think so, Baby Jane. That's not going to happen. I'm not showing anybody my marriage certificate.
You know what, Chantal? You'll show everything else. You'll show proof of your STDs. You'll show us your medication, but you won't show the marriage certificate. And if you wanted everybody to shut up, that would be so simple. But I think you are terrified to show those pieces of paper because you're afraid that if you show your quote unquote marriage certificate, that girl world, it's going to get translated. And you might find out that you didn't sign a marriage certificate at all, that you signed something else. You might find out that Salah's been lying to you this whole time and just telling you, yeah, the two of you are married when you're really not. And you don't want that possibility. You don't want that possibility of knowing the truth. You want to live in your lie. So those pieces of paper that you call your marriage certificate, you want to keep on thinking that. You don't want anybody to say, hey, Chantal, I translated this whole thing. It's a contract for this and that. You don't want your whole world to come crashing down, because if it does, where do you go from Kuwait? What are you going to go back to? A sleazy motel room with a sex chair? Might be the best thing for you, you know?
If they want to think it's fake, go ahead.
I do think, you know what? You know what, Chantal? I'm going to play devil's advocate. I am. You know, cross-examination time. Let's just say you're right. You and Salah are married. You both signed some kind of contract. Although there are different kinds of marriage in Kuwait. There is is it Mijar marriage, which is, it's very short term under contract. But let's just say the two of you are really married. Even if you had a contract, a real one, you got it. Is he really your husband? Are you really his wife? The two of you are not emotionally invested in each other. There's no real love. There's no real respect. There's no real trust. There's no anything like that. So without those things, is it a real marriage? No, it isn't. You could have the ring, the veil, the contract. You could have walked down the aisle. But if you have a partner that really isn't your partner, you might as well just be single. Because that contract and that ring don't mean nothing. Trust and believe that. And there's nothing more heartbreaking than being really married to somebody and the marriage ain't working and they're laying in bed next to you, but they might as well be 1,000 miles away. It breaks your heart to feel that gap and not be able to fix it. Worst feeling in the world. So even if you got a contract, you guys aren't really married.
I think it's proof enough that we're living in a building where you have to be married. So if you want to call the authorities, we'll show them the marriage certificate, which we already showed the building. Otherwise, everyone else can get bent as far as I'm concerned. Hi, Laura. I'm doing well today. It's nice to see you here, Creepy Comfort. I missed you. I have the proof, Peta Princess. I don't...
You know, I'm going to take note of this stream when the whole tower falls down. Because eventually it has to. With her eating habits, with her food addiction, she is the tower and she is making herself fall. And Salah's not going to stick around when that happens. He's going to hightail it out of there. He's just biding his time. And when he's gone, she's going to have a total meltdown. Absolute meltdown. Yes, she is. And all this smugness she's got going on right now, she ain't going to have it. She is a delicate little flower, our girl. And it doesn't take much to break her.
Owe it to anybody. Who do I owe it to? Strangers on the internet who need content? I don't effing think so.
No. You need content. You need to make money off your content. We could give an F less. You could go away for a month. I wouldn't complain. I really wouldn't. It's not about the money, Chantal. Reacting to you, I don't make much money off this crap. Trust and believe that. I do it because I want to give my opinions on you and I want to help people keep up with the story. And I like connecting to people in my audience. It ain't even about you. And oh my God, she went live. I have to go live so I can make a video and make X amount today. Oh no. No, the money is stupid right now. Who cares about it? Your content is boring. It puts me to sleep. I tried reacting last night and I just cut out. And I'm redoing it today. That's how boring you are.
I'm a cleaning stream. I was thinking of tidying up more here. Like I have some things I have to tidy up. I finally took out all my pots out of the boxes. I have to put the boxes away. Maybe I'll do that soon. I don't know. I just thought I would talk to you guys, but it traps the cheese better. Yeah. And like all the little holes. Seriously, if you have a relationship where you never fight, reevaluate because everybody, it wasn't like we weren't really fighting bad. Like it was just more like me, like a problem with me.
Yeah, you know what the problem with her is? She's a food addict. And she doesn't like anybody telling her no, she can't have food, telling her no, she can't have her donuts or her coffee. It was all over the food. Because go back a little bit. Remember that Taco Bell stream? She ate her Taco Bell, and then she snagged up his quesadilla. And then later on, she was talking about, I want donuts. So I guess she didn't get her donuts, and she had a complete meltdown about that. And then what happened? She shows up at Tim Hortons to get her freaking donuts and her freaking coffee. So whenever Chantal wants something, when she wants to get her way, when she wants to show who's the boss, she'll pull a power play. Oh, you better do what I want, because I could go back to Canada and make more money without you and not give you a dime, Salah. You better come to heel. Remember whose leash you're on. Woof, woof. You better do as you're told. You better sit when I say sit. You better roll over when I say roll over. Don't forget who the boss is. Yeah, she'll pull that side of her out real quick when it comes to getting her way and getting her fix. Yep. She can't control her addictions. He can't control them. All it can do is pacify her and stay out of the way. And that's what she wants.
And insecurities and just wanting to go back home. Like, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about like all the details. So it's going to be like confusing, but all that matters is it's a new day and it's better now and I'm not going anywhere. So
she is. Her plane ticket was dated the 23rd. She's leaving after payday. It makes sense. She's waiting until she gets paid, and then she's going back home with the most money in pocket, because then when she gets off the plane, she can have the B moment of the century, because that's what happened the last time. And I'm telling you guys now, the moment she gets off that plane, it's getting started in the airport. And Chantal, you know I'm right. You know I am. The moment you get off that plane and you smell that McDonald's and that Burger King and you see that Starbucks and that Cinnabons, girl, food coma in the airport. Yep. And then it's on to the green store. You're going to hoover up all the stuff you were missing in Kuwait. Salah's not going to be there to shake his finger at you. Naughty, naughty. You're going to be like an unsupervised teenager with mom and dad's credit card going wild. You're going to make yourself sick again. This is the cycle that you've shown us that you do when you go home. You will purposely make yourself sick just so you can go to the ER and cut in line in front of everybody else. Yeah, you do that too. Girl, we know you better than you know yourself.
it was just like an impulsive emotional moment. That's all. Actually, Peter Princess, I don't show you anything more personal than a marriage certificate. No, I don't. So, yeah. Actually, Rick, because I showed my plane ticket, no, it wasn't a lie. I was leaving. So, no, it wasn't.
And I'm just going to bring this up yet again. This whole thing between you and Salah, Chantal, for you, it was a money thing. But then you added the emotion. Even though the emotion was not supposed to be there, you fell in love with your ego and your eyes. But for Salah, it's always been a money thing. And like I said earlier, it's a business deal. But those involved in the business deal, when you're involved in a business transaction and money is being lost and spent on things like ER visits and medical bills, the other business partner or partners that are involved, they're going to take notice and they're going to say, we are losing more money than we're making. Let's just stop the bleeding and let go of this thing. You at this point are now a walking, talking liability risk with all of your health issues. And I'm sure those that are around you that are involved in this thing, they're saying, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. We can't get any more juice out of this orange. Let's just throw it on the ground and start over.
No, a flan buffet. I didn't. Hi, Paul. Welcome, salam, Amanda. I lied. That was so long ago. I'm not even talking about that. Get a life. Like, what the fuck? Right, Dragonfly? Get a life. It's between you and Salah. People have a lot of nerve wanting any more than what you already get. Exactly. I think I've shared enough. Like,
And can I say something, Chantal, as far as the reaction channels in girl world? You can choose to have a private life. Anybody can have a private life. All that we want, all that your audience wants, is the truth. We want you to stop freaking lying and treating us like we're stupid. It's a sick, stupid game you play. Treating people like they're dumb, they don't have any common sense, they can't figure anything out, although we know you better than you know yourself. There's really no sense to play the game, but you play it. You'll do a live, you'll do a video, you'll tell a bunch of lies, you'll say inflammatory things, and then as soon as you upload, you're running around all over Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and people's lives and comment sections to see what lies got believed, what lies got exposed, if there were any details that you missed that you can then go back to the video and edit it out. You yourself are a reaction channel, ma'am. You react to what we say about you. That is your content beyond the food. But all we want is for you to stop lying. Tell the truth. For once in your life, tell the truth. You don't have to reveal everything. Just be truthful. It's so much simpler than making up a lie and then making up another one and another one and another one to just keep the lie going. Your story is full of lies. And they make no sense. They make no absolute sense. Yet you keep lying to keep the fantasy going. At this point, I don't understand how it's a fantasy, because a fantasy that doesn't feel good. It's full of pain. It's full of suffering. It's full of health problems. It's full of loneliness. Why pursue the fantasy? But maybe that's all you've got, is the fantasy that hurts and the lies that keep that going.
like I said, call the authorities, tell them to come here and say we're not married. We have the marriage. We had to show a marriage certificate to move here. Look it up if you want to. You guys look up everything else like you're sleuths, like you think you know everything. So look it up. It's freaking easy. You know, because Muslims don't take their husband's last names. Very easy to look.
But you did for a while. You added his last name to your name, even though that was not the thing you do as a Muslim woman.
Look up as well. Revisiting the old stuff is getting, I know, desperate. That's what it is. I didn't choose food over anybody.
Yes, you did. Yes, you do. Have you fixed your food problem? No. Is it still a problem? Yes. Is it affecting you, your channel, and any relationships you are wanting to have? Absolutely. Do you know this? Yes. Do you care? No. No therapy. No inpatient. No outpatient. No coping skills. No coping mechanisms. Nothing. You can't be married to Salah, Chantal. You're already married. You've been married for years, and you're loyal to your partner. And your partner is food. You will never leave that partner. You will always be faithful, and that's the one partner you've had in life you've never lied to and you've never cheated on. And you got to make a choice. Do you want to be married to your addictions, or do you want to have an actual human partner? Because no human partner is going to put up with being the third spoke in the wheel. You feel me? You got to take one spoke out to make it work.
Yeah, I know, Charles, exactly. Yeah, in Islam, the wife keeps the last name. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I guess people in religious coverings are not human, right? Retail therapy. I'm not mad. I'm just replying to your dumb questions.
So I realize there are trolls in the chat right now. Then there are just people that are not subbed up to Chantal in the chat right now. There's a mix of different people, but for anyone who's in Chantal's chat that you might be interested in subbing up to her, or you are subbed up to her, why would you put up with this rude behavior? Why put up with it? What are you getting out of it? For her to be this snotty, to be this egotistical, how does that serve you well? I don't get it. There's too many entertaining channels on YouTube, way too many. Like, why spend your time around a negative person who complains all the time, doesn't care about their health? All they care about is getting their fix and getting high on camera using food.
I lied about going back through the drive-thru to get him food. I gave him money. Thank you very much. And that was like 4 years ago. So you can get over it or get out of here. Actually, I got an idea. I will block you. Goodbye. Goodbye, April, you freaking loser. Goodbye.
See, this is her using her YouTube channel as a means of feeling powerful. She likes to feel powerful. So she does streams like this, where she feels powerful. She's got power over the audience. She feels strong, pushing that block button, feeling like she's in control at the same time with her own health. She's out of control. Her life is out of control. This is her being the mean high school girl. Oh, you don't have to be here. I'm blocking you out. Okay, keep blocking people, Chantal. Pretty soon there won't be anybody left.
Yeah, false rage bait for reaction channels who have no life. Exactly.
How? Breatheth. Who's making Chantal angry? Who's making Chantal angry? I don't see any reaction channels in the chat. I don't see any familiar names. Chantal rage baited herself. She wanted to get mad. She's mad at Salah for some reason. Yet she's too much of a coward to say so to him and leave. She's going to get online and rage at strangers because they are not physically in front of her, looking her in the eye. She doesn't need rage bait. She's full of anger all the time.
Goodbye, retail. Since I'm rude, I guess you won't be watching me.
Bye.
Why is it
all the people that are getting blocked by Chantal? She's actually doing you guys a favor. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. If you want to keep up with her story, there's a ton of reaction channels, entertaining live chats that are funny. There's so many of us, and we're all different. Some are calm, some are much more energetic, some are fiery and feisty. Feel free to look around. You'll find a chat that really resonates with you, and they'll be far more entertaining than what she is.
confusing to go back and forth? Like I said, have you guys never changed your mind about anything at all in your life? Like at all? You've never got, actually a lot of you have never been in my situation. Have you uprooted your entire life?
You know why? Because we're not that dumb. Most of us have more than a nickel's worth of common sense that we would know better than to listen to a romance scammer and within 48 hours we're engaged to be married. And most of us have the common sense to realize, I don't know this person. Is it a wise idea to move thousands of miles away from home and give myself no exit plan just in case it goes sideways? Is it wise to give up the villa, my roommate, my pets for a stranger without getting to know this person first? Not doing my due diligence to get to know him. Nobody's been in my situation before because we're smarter than you. You're 40 years old, acting like a teenage girl. Worse than a teenage girl, actually. Being impulsive, being stupid, chasing men that don't want you. Yeah, we're not in your situation, nor are we going to be, because we're smarter than you, Chantal.
And move to a foreign country where it's like a huge cultural difference. and are
of which that you have not acclimated yourself. You're not even tried. You cannot speak nor write in Arabic. You're not trying to acclimate yourself to where you are. You're not going out and you're not meeting people and doing things. You're just sitting in a room, isolated, all by yourself. You don't care about the culture. All you care about is having an escape room to become bedbound.
went from one extreme to another, and you're torn between an old life and a new life.
You're not torn. You knew what you were doing when you gave up all your stuff and you went to Kuwait. You knew exactly what you were doing, Chantal. Even before Salah, you did a live stream talking about romance scammers. You knew they were out there. You knew they were targeting women like yourself, women who might be overweight and desperate for love. And so your little manipulating mind, you thought to yourself, you know what? I'm just going to find one and I'm going to fat fish the crap out of him. I'm going to catfish him. I'm going to make up lies about myself. I'm going to throw in my YouTube channel and the money I'm making and really get him on the hook. I'm never going to let him see me without my filters, just take filtered pictures and videos on my phone. And you kept that going the entire time. And the first time that Salah saw you for real is when you gave up the villa, you gave up Pete's, you gave up the cats, you packed your overnight bag and you hightailed it to Kuwait. You put him in a position where even if he wanted to get rid of you, he couldn't. You turned the tables on a romance scammer, put him in a position where even if he wanted to get away, he could not. You scammed your way over there. Yes, you did.
No, you can't. So why are you judging me when you don't know the first thing about it? Teardrop, hi. There's always idiots. They're like flies on shit. That's all they are.
Does she realize she just put herself down? She's basically calling herself a piece of crap. A big one.
A plane ride to Canada is 13 hours. Oh, yeah. People who are happy never get angry. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. People who are happy don't try to rage bait people.
Who's rage baiting her? There's nobody in her chat baiting her. We just react to her videos, but we don't bother her. She comes over and bothers all of us.
That's the real truth there. Like my husband did. It's a big deal. Exactly. Did he ever get homesick? You know, it's like huge cultural friggin' differences. Hi, little doll. Walaikum salam. They don't have any facts. Hi, Sylvael.
If we don't have any facts, why are you so bothered? Why do you get so mad? If we are completely stupid and we don't know what we're talking about, why do you get so mad? Why not just let it roll like water off your back? Just let it ride. We always know when we're hitting at least little specks of the truth because that's when you get bothered.
Pain chocolat. Nothing wrong with blocking rude troublemaker. Exactly. Nothing wrong with it. The haters block people for simply not exactly. They all do. No one can walk in our sketchers. Exactly. Most of these people have never even visited a different state, let alone lived in another country. I know, Amber Chick. Exactly. My block list is very long and I like it that way. Hi, Green Grapes. I'm an expat who moved overseas to an old culture where I had to. You know? Well, good for you, Tabby. I'm sure I could get a husband locally too, but it just so happens I fell in love with Salah. Oh, like seriously.
Big place. It's huge. All with a man who is local. There might be just one that would like her. She didn't want it that way because she knew that if she dated or saw a man local, they would see what she looks like. They'd be exposed to her and they'd probably run away. So who was her target? A man all the way across the world. And there might have been some language barriers and she could lie to that man about her problem with food and just keep the wool over his eyes for as long as possible until she got what she wanted. She deliberately picks men that she has some sort of advantage over, she can get an advantage that she can control. She could have picked somebody in Canada, but she knew nobody's going to want her there because of the way she behaves.
Santos, thank you.
She probably thought, you know what, the Canadian men, they all have too much freedom. I want a person that could take freedom away from.
Thank you, Santos. That's sweet of you. I appreciate that. I have to like that. Thank you. I don't know. I want to watch Longlegs, but like I saw a picture of who's in that movie? Nicolas Cage.
Okay, so this comment right here, let me just back it up a little bit. Oh, oops, sorry. Dang it. How do I scroll back up? So this comment right here on the top, part of it is missing. This person says the internet can cry about their marriage to 500-pound strangers. So it's just a little weird when you changed your mind so fast. Yeah, not everybody gets online and exposes all their business all the time. She's the only one who does because she doesn't have any friends. She has family, but she doesn't talk to her family. And even if she did, they're tired of hearing her crap. They basically want nothing to do with Chantal. She's got no one to talk to. That's why she's always online and talking to everybody else, because anybody personal close to Chantal wants, they're like, I'm out, too much.
He looks like Marilyn Manson, a blonde Marilyn Manson with botched surgery. So funny. We'd love to see more local cuisine. Teach us how to make some easier dishes. Yeah, Thunderstorm, I guess. I just haven't, like, I don't know. I'm not in the mood to cook these days, you know?
And you know what, Chantal? Listen, you are a food addict. You are so deep into your addiction that for you, because it is a source of one of your addictions, it is all-consuming and it is fascinating. Because you are deep into it, because it is your love, because it is your passion. Like, you can talk about food all day, you could eat food all day, and that is your happiness. And because it is your addiction, your all-consuming addiction, you just can't see the other side of that mirror. You can't understand other people who are not severe food addicts because it's not our addiction, because we are not consumed with food. We are not enthralled with food the way you are. You can't understand why we find it boring. That here you are doing a live stream. You're a food addict. You're talking about food. You're thinking about food. You want to eat food. And it's like this every day. There's nothing else going on in your life. You're like, oh my God, what are they complaining about? What we're complaining about is the fact that you're an addict coming online and the source of your addiction is on your mind all the time, and you don't understand that constantly talking about and focusing on food is boring AF. And the only people that are enthralled with food are those in your audience. They have the same problem. They'll talk about food all day long with you, even though I think that's effed up, but they'll do it. But anybody else, they're going to be like, this is boring, I'm out. And then you're going to get mad. Why are they all leaving? Because they're not food addicts. You know, food isn't their entire world.
It's my last alt dog. Okay, behave then. No. Been with my husband for over 30 years. You know how many arguments we've had? Yeah. Hi, Coffee. Yeah, I don't have to worry about Julia. I stayed in Pakistan with my husband for 2 weeks and lost so much weight. The food was not what I was used to. I ate oatmeal. Really, Amanda? Oh, I would love it. I love Pakistani food. No, we don't fight over food. People are making shit up out of their ass.
No. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm sure the entire argument recently was over coffee and donuts. You talked about it in the Taco Bell stream, and then lo and behold, you go to Tim Hortons for a donut and coffee. Chantal, you're obvious. Quit it. Quit it.
It's like, it's so stupid. Hi, Reese PC. Thank you, Coffee. The heart wants what the heart wants. Fighting over food. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to Canada and get a freaking, you know, live my life single. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
You know what, Chantal? Maybe that's the reason why you don't want to go home to Canada. Because you know how out of control you are with the food issue. And although you can do what you want in Kuwait, and you said yourself, Salah cannot stop you, left alone, you're 10 times worse. But here's what you're not seeing. In Kuwait, what's going on with you, it's happening at a slower rate. If you went home to Canada, it would be much faster because there's nothing and no one holding you back. You're going to be there alone. Again, no therapy, no coping skills or coping mechanisms. You're going to get bored. You eat when you're bored. You eat when you're lonely. You eat when you're upset. You're going to have the beezers in your face saying, go here, go here, go here. And you know this. I think you're free to go back. Because every time you go back, it's the same routine. You suck up all the junk food. You suck up all the Starbucks. You eat all the candy bars. You go to the buffets. You smoke the green until the cows come home. Never once have you gone home to Canada and didn't do that stuff. And you're at a point now where your kidneys are about ready to give out. You're on 6 different medications. You're on insulin. You're pushing your body too far. By the way, Chantal, I know you hate truth. You like to live in Delulu land. But I'm going to poke a hole in your bubble for a second. Ma'am, if your kidneys gave out for real, at your size, at your weight, you will probably have to go to get dialysis literally every other day and spend probably upwards of like 12 hours or better in the chair cleaning your blood. That would be your life. So you might want to slow down hurting your kidneys. They put up with a lot. You might want to slow all the way down because once they're done, they're done. You ain't getting another pair. And you're not getting a kidney transplant either. So stop thinking that you're unbreakable and untouchable. If your health is the way it is, you are breakable. You are breaking down. If you don't like the idea of dialysis for 12 to 14 hours, slow down, stay away from the sugar, take care of your body or not, your choice.
shake my head. Thank you, Reese PC. No, I already had my dinner. I had paneer. So, but I might make a coffee. I don't know. Vanessa, hi Vanessa. Do more creepypasta mukbangs. I haven't done one of those in a long time. Hey Lisa.
What is going on with her eyes? She keeps wiping in her eyes. Like, is something going on with her eyes? Like, she's not crying. Is that have to do with her diabetes? I don't know, but just she keeps wiping at her eyes.
What's up? What's wrong with being single? Nothing. Sometimes I have to say, like, I don't know. How does it look miserable? It's better. It's like better here, I find, in a lot of ways.
It's better for you because you want to be left alone to eat. And you don't want the tax man taking your money away so you can't do mukbangs. You ran to Kuwait and you found an enabler who will go get your food. You want to make sure that you can keep on with your addiction. And Mr. Taxman back in Canada wouldn't take the money away because that would mean no more Tim Hortons, no more Starbucks, no more McDonald's, no more Burger King. And you're just not going to stand for that.
I don't know. Like, I just feel like sometimes, like, being married, especially in a different culture, there's like, it's different, you know? And like, sometimes I just don't feel like adequate, like an adequate wife, like, and just like, you know what I mean? Like just that self-doubt. And it's like, sometimes
So you feel inadequate. What are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? How are you fixing it? Are you looking at yourself and saying, I am insecure, I am jealous, I don't feel like I'm enough, I need to work on myself, and start working on yourself? Are you contributing more? Are you taking care of your mental health? Are you taking care of your emotional health? Are you going to counseling for your therapy, for your jealousy, for your insecurities, for whatever issues you may have? Are you working on yourself so you can be a more secure, loving, productive wife? No. You're in a small apartment and you can't even keep it clean. It's filthy. You can't take care of yourself. How embarrassing for you that you're 40 years old and you're trying to force a 30-year-old man to take care of you. He's probably looking at you because you're older and thinking to himself, pathetic. She's older than me and she's weaker than me. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. If you're having all these thoughts and you're having all these feelings of I'm not giving enough, put some action behind the thought and fix it.
I guess I was just feeling that self-doubt a lot. And I was like, I just want to be at peace and I don't want to burden anybody.
But you are, though. I mean, not to be rude, but wherever you go, whoever you're around, you are a burden. You're a burden in Kuwait on their medical health care system. If you went back to Canada, you'd be a burden on their medical health care system. You're a burden on the ERs. You're a burden on your family. You expect everybody to take care of you. Well, what if nobody wants to? What if nobody can? Do you ever think about that? Then where are you going to end up? Are there people that are sending you money for these feedy videos? Are they putting money aside for your funeral expenses, Chantal? For your burial plot? Are they putting money away for all the medical bills that might happen if something happens to you? If not, think about that. These feedies that are encouraging you to be bedbound, they're trying to sell you this idea of it's the ultimate life. Are they going to be there for you when the poop hits the fan? Probably not.
You know, so she didn't ask for the quesadilla. He literally brought it to her. People need to grow up. People need to grow up.
I would be embarrassed. If I were Chantal, I would be embarrassed. Like, I've already eaten my meal and here I am scarfing down my husband's meal on camera. I would be embarrassed. I'm taking my husband's food. How awful. Your partner is trying to eat and you're taking the food away from them to where they can't eat. And you call that a loving, happy marriage? Lady, you need some help.
Seriously. If we, yeah, I don't think I would either, Robin, honestly. Couldn't live with the strays and trash. Annie, have you been to downtown Toronto or some cities? There's so many cities in the US. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Just like any other place in the world, Kuwait has some areas that are not that nice, and they have areas that are nicer than any place I've ever been in my life, like super posh. So, yeah, I it's the same thing. I'm the best wife. I mean, I have issues. I have health issues. I mean, everyone has problems, you know, but I am very loving.
Ha 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 ha. Whatever.
It's hot, but in the winter is amazing. And wait till the winter. I want to go to do so many things here. You guys will see. I'm very loving.
Nope, lies. Press X for doubt.
And I make him laugh a lot. And
how can you do that if he's never around? Try again.
And we just have a really fun time. We have a bond that he's never had with anyone else.
lot of burden. I'm sure right about now he trades you up for a basic Becky because you're a whole lot of burden he don't want to deal with.
Sorry for my language, but that's the term. And he likes that.
No, he doesn't. If he likes that, why is he never around? Why is he more and more absent, Chantal? You're not making sense. Look, he hates you. And he hates all the problems that come with you. The fact that you are nothing but a constant problem, a constant fight. You lied to him and said you guys were going to travel and there'd be some money, and you lied. You've done nothing but just sit on the couch like a great big bullfrog and get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you have, you're becoming more of an issue and a problem. And I'm sure he's sick to death of it.
And he loves me for me. So
no, he doesn't.
You know,
he loves you for your paycheck. Look, let's put it to the test. Let's really test that out, Chantal. I dare you. I double dog dare you with a cherry on top. He loves you, right? Okay. All right. Let's test it out. Go to Salah and say, I'm not giving you more money. Or I have no more money to give you. And see what happens. If he loves you, the money won't matter. But if it's all about the money, he'll take off. I bet you won't test the theory. I bet you won't.
I'm overweight and I eat when I want. No one forces me. Yeah, you know, like I have my laundry. Do you guys mind if I fold laundry? I'm gonna put these pots in the kitchen. Can these pots go in the oven? I wonder. Let me see. I'm the opposite of Facebook. Because I called her a frog. Oh yeah, sure, whatever. Has nothing to do with culture. It's about looks. So, and by that logic, then she's Islamophobic for saying Hamadan. So, yeah. Hi, punk rock. Hold some laundry, honey. Nobody has to twist my arm to eat either. Yes, you're here, Blue Pot. Get some snackies. I'm not the type of person who likes to vent to people in my real life.
Oh, wait. Back up. She said, I'm not the kind of person who likes to vent to people in my real life. So you won't go to people in your personal life and vent. You'll do it online to strangers that they can't help you. She's got to monetize all of her griping. Got it.
I've said that before. I don't like it. I don't know why. I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're all about, can I make money off this drama? Then let me put it online first.
No. But it wasn't just coming on here to vent. It was just to announce that I'm going to Canada because I had my ticket. I showed it in the video.
She's still going. This is all deflection. She's still going, y'all. She just changed the doggone date. She's still going. She's got to get out of there. She's going home. She'll disappear for a couple of days and then pop up in Canada. That's what she usually does.
Bought a ticket in haste. Ashley, hey!
And I really hope when she leaves that Kuwait says, have fun because you're not coming back here. I really, really hope that happens.
So, I mean, you know, I like old 80s stuff too, some of it. Thank you, Ashley. Be like a wife when you never ever thought like you would ever be, you know, like it's hard sometimes. Like,
Chantal, listen, you went to Kuwait, in my opinion, because you wanted to play house. Playing house is a child's game. When you're really young, you play house. You be the mommy, I be the daddy, right? That's playing house. I remember playing that game when I was young, but that was when I was young. You wanted to know what it would be like to really be married. You desperately wanted to be married. You wanted to have at least a somewhat idea of what marriage is, even though you'll never get the real thing. You wanted the fake version. So you found Salah, you guys struck up a deal, and this whole thing's been going on too long. It's been a business transaction the whole time, but you never were married. It's just acting for YouTube. He's not your husband. You are not his wife. It's just stuff for YouTube. That's all it is.
Where's the manipulation in that? Yeah, creepy. I'm sure we will, for sure. Yeah. 7, Ashley. I can't believe that. Little Beezer. Really, Robin? I can imagine. It's hard taking care of people that we love, for sure. I was joking. Whenever I said I'm going to manipulate you people, I was literally verbatim saying what the haters say.
No, you can't rewrite history. I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you. Not today, not this minute, not this hour, madam. No. When you were in Canada, when you were in Cuba, the Cuba rage, you were a little bit drunk. You weren't as drunk as you try to portray yourself to be, but you had some drinks. And you were riding high on your arrogance and the money. You were so high on your arrogance that you decided, you know what? These Beezers are so addicted to me that I could just straight up tell them what suckers they are, and they'll stick around. And you said that you're going to come online and manipulate the F out of everybody, and then come on later and be sweet as pie, and everybody is going to eat it up. That was pretty much what you said. That, and you said it that way. You said it with your whole chest and your whole fupa, mama. Yes, you did. You were being truthful. The mask was off. That's why the Cuba rage will go down in the history books as being infamous, because there was some truth there. You weren't lying. There was some truth there. You were a little bit tipsy, and you weren't even keeping the mask on and hiding yourself. You were out in front of everybody. You weren't kidding. You meant every word.
That I'm just going to manipulate people. Like, I don't. No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Yet all the time, every day, you manipulate.
I'm sure every human being, okay, number one, every single human being, if you are a human with a brain, a heart, all that anatomy, you've told lies.
Oh, here we go. We're about to get it started. This is part of the narc stuff right here. Pay attention, y'all. Pay attention. Chantal, she wants to be a standout. She wants to be unique. She wants to stand alone until she gets called out. Until somebody points out something she did or something she said that makes her look bad. Then all of a sudden, suddenly she wants to be part of a group. She wants to gather people to her and do the whataboutisms. I know I'm not perfect, and everybody's done this and everybody's done that. Chantal, I know what you're about to do. You're gonna say, oh, everybody's manipulated everybody. No, ma'am, that's you. You're in a class all by yourself. I have never seen nor heard anybody like you in my life. You are unique. You are one of a kind. Thank goodness that there's no more like you. But don't do the whataboutisms. No. I'm shutting you down on that right now.
In your life, you've probably manipulated somebody.
Nope, never did it. Nope. I've had people manipulate me, but I've never done it to other people.
Maybe even without knowing it.
She's doing the whataboutisms. Look at that. So she's basically saying that she has manipulated people and trying to normalize it and make it seem okay. I see what you're up to, Chantal. Listen, I've had more than one con artist in my life, more than one liar. I know the toolbox well. I know all the tools in it that got used on me. You can't pull that nonsense over here.
Even if it's not a huge one or whatever, there's different levels. we've all done shitty things in our life. Like,
No, but you've done nothing but crappy things your entire life. That's the difference. You're a crappy person. You've done crappy, evil things all of your life. You've never done one single good thing just to be good.
if you say you don't and you're a saint, oh, well, I'm sure
You don't have to be a saint. Just be a good person and not do hurt to other people. That's all.
my apologies. Like, my Skechers, yeah. It's not normal, Peta Princess. I never said my rapid cycling is normal, but it is what it is, you know? I've been to psychiatrists, I've been to therapy. None of them think I have bipolar. They think I'm depressed and anxiety, and they put me on a medication, and that's what I'm on today.
Chantal, the number of issues you may have, it's going to take more than half an hour or one session to figure out all the issues, how deep they are, how severe they are. You've never gone to therapy or counseling and stuck with it to really dig down deep and fix it. You don't want to figure out your issues. You want to monetize them.
That's it. Who am I manipulating?
Everybody.
YouTube lover? Like, I don't know who I'm manipulating. Like,
You're manipulating your audience right now by painting this picture that the reaction channels are stupid. We don't know what we're talking about. That you're not an evil witch. You are. You're trying to say, I don't manipulate people. You do. Proof of that was in the live stream that you got rid of, where you were basically dry begging for money, manipulation. And you did it before in Canada. Oh, I don't have a house. I need stuff for it, even though it's nobody's responsibility. Always looking for ways to scam people out of money when you got more, I'm sure, than most of the people in your audience. You shouldn't be asking for their money. What you should be saying is, I'm good, guys. Don't send me money. I'm good.
Like, if you feel manipulated by me, like, don't watch me. I don't get it. Everyone, yeah, exactly. If everyone shared their honest life, everyone would look a mess. Most people choose to share only and to judge. Exactly. That's why a lot of haters, they hide behind an avatar and they don't even share anything about their life. You know,
I don't hide behind an avatar, but I'm not putting down anybody who has an avatar. Sometimes doing a live stream or a video, it just makes it easier because you're not focused on the camera. But we're here as reactors. We're not doing life vlogs. It's not our content. If we choose to do life vlogs, it's because we want to. But our content is reacting. We don't have to show what goes on in our day-to-day lives. So she's trying to use that as a weapon. It ain't going to work.
they just pick apart mine. Like, whatever.
You choose to put it online. You choose to show us these things. You put it on a public forum.
I have Skechers. I'm curious, Denise, why I'm manipulative. Can you please enlighten me? Yeah, I'm seriously curious. You know? What do you mean I've lied about my arguments with Salah? What have I lied about?
You know what? Like, regardless of what's going on here with the chat, with the Beezers, I'm just sitting here with a thought in my head. You know, Chantal, you used to have a whole lot of diehard Beezers, VIBs, that stuck with you for years, and you drove them all away. The only ones you got left are this new batch of Beezers that they've not been around for years. On the positive for you, they don't know all the lore. They don't know all your dirty business. But the con, the opposite side to that coin, is because they've not been around for years, like they don't have any long-term loyalty to you. They're new, they're checking you out, and if you tick them off, they'll probably disappear. So every time you come online and you're rude and you're snotty and you're showing your true face, there's a greater chance that they may leave and not come back. Your audience, like your income, is shrinking. So if you want to destroy your channel, do so, because you are. But understand that this thinking of, if people leave, I can always get more, Not as many people are invested in your story as there once was. You become a lot less entertaining. So people have stopped watching, or they don't watch as often. So yeah, keep messing up, keep messing up. The little bit of people you got left, they'll go away too. And there won't be anybody to replace them.
Like, why? I don't get it. The first thing kids do is manipulate. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, maybe as a kid, yeah.
I didn't dare. I was brought up in a Southern family with a military father. Okay. Like, I was brought up in that kind of family where the first words you learn are your polite words. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Please, excuse me, and thank you. And if you didn't use those words when they were required, you got the look. Not a word was spoken. You just got the look. And that's all the warning you got. And if you didn't straighten up quick, then something's going to happen. When I was young, my parents didn't beat me, but on a rare occasion, there would be a spanking or the switch. Anybody that knows about switch, oof, you get that once, you don't want it again. You remember your lesson well. Okay? So not all kids are brought up to be manipulative. Some of them are brought up knowing what to do, being good people. Unfortunately, you were dead set spoiled from moment one, and you were not course corrected.
My bro has been married 19 years. The only one time where divorce was talked about. I guess they argue. Okay, good, Vanish. That's your brother. That's your brother. Everyone's different. Cool story. You know? The therapy from Canada, actually, it's not going to work out. I have to be in Canada because you can't practice therapy
I don't want to hear that crap. Chantal, you don't have to be in person for therapy. You can do therapy online. You might be able to set up like Zoom or Skype or whatever sessions. There's all kinds of options these days. Stop lying to people.
Have to be in Canada.
No, you don't. No, you know what? This big old liar. This big old liar. I'm so sick of her making excuses and whining. I can't get therapy. Online therapy session. Let me just look it up. Okay. So what do we got here? What are some online therapy platforms? We've got BetterHelp. We've got Talkspace. We've got Hims and Hers Health. We've got Amwell, which is for kids. You've got onlinetherapy.com. You've got Regain, which is relationship therapy. You've got Brightside for anxiety and depression. You've got MD Live for therapy and psychiatry. You've got 7 Cups. I mean, boom. I just found a whole bunch of online therapy places to go. And some of them might be free. All I did was do a search, Chantal. Listen, you want receipts? Big Mama, I'll give you receipts right here, right now. You want to see? You want to see? Do you want to see? I'll show you. There it is. Boom. Was I lying? Was I lying? No, because I don't lie. Look at that. I just put in online therapy session. And I'm sure there's stuff for free. So what's your excuse now? You don't have to be in Canada to get therapy. You can get stuff started right away. Why do you lie so much?
Have to be in the same area because they're only licensed to practice in Canada. That's what I was told. Hi, Penny Little. Some black socks. I don't want to wear socks. Yeah, Silvile, I know. Favorite Lush product? Oh, that would be so hard. I don't look at her get her nails cut. Oh my gosh.
She's babbling, so who cares?
So I'm worried about the heat with her, right? So I put her
Oh, she's talking about Julia.
Like, there's AC in the back, so I face her cage right against the
Oh, girl, you can't pick up anything. Who are you talking to?
vent. But she gets so mad that she's in the cage, she gets defensive. So she was like hissing at us, like, "How dare you?" But she's like, she's a good girl, but some like, I didn't think that it would be such a huge deal, but you know. Yeah, it's true, Sylvia. Like, you couldn't pay me enough to be that kind of person where all you do is hate on somebody every day.
Chantal, you hate on yourself every day and you hate on the audience every day. Okay, you're not exactly a happy Harriet over there.
And think that karma's not going to bite you in the ass one day.
Chantal, don't worry about anybody else's karma. Yours absolutely sucks. You're as bankrupt on good karma as you are on money. Stop being so focused on girl world. Focus on yourself.
All right. Actually, it probably already has. Imagine, like, no offense, but thanks, Wajiha. I had no idea it would be this big of a deal. For some reason, I'm always surprised. Salah is busy.
Yeah, I bet he's busy in the red room. What does he do all day? He doesn't have a regular job. His job is to take care of Chantal and monitor chat, but he's not modding. So where'd you go, Salah? What's up?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Angry Blue Pot. I didn't see what you said. I'm so used to Chantal changing her mind. Did you get a lot of views on your video? Honestly, I like that whole day. I don't even know what the views are at right now.
Lies. She lies. Look, y'all, I have my YouTube channel. When you have a monetized channel, even if you don't have a monetized channel, there is a section called the YouTube Analytics. You can click on that section and it will tell you everything you want to know, like how many views are per video or per live, what you made, like maybe as far as money on it. That doesn't show up till the next day if a video or live's posted. But she knows her analytics really, really well. She does.
Probably because it's drama. And like the majority of my audience, I feel like wants me to go back to Canada.
Yeah, because they hate Salah. They don't like Salah. They've told you so. They hate this whole Kuwait arc because it's boring. You're bored. You're miserable. They want to see you happy. You're happiest in Canada away from him, doing your own thing. You are more your natural self in Canada than you are in Kuwait. Every time you get around Salah, you act weird. With the baby voice. You talk in the baby voice. It's weird and it's creepy. Stop it. Instead of being whatever it is you think you need to be around him, just be your doggone self. Go home.
And like they're upset, you know. They want me to go back to like, I don't know. They think I'm more fun there. They think
you are.
I think I'm different now, and I am different. Yeah, I am. But you know, it's who I am now. That's all. Do we still have a ghost? I haven't had any ghostly activity lately. I don't know. How are the weddings? Like very nice. They like have set up like nice big tents and stuff, and like people dance. They do the dabka and
Moving
like,
on.
Sanctuary. I like being at home. I have AC here.
She's bragging about that. That's a flex. I got AC here. Guess what, Chantal? I got AC too. I got AC, mama. I just don't have it on right now because I'm doing a react video and it would mess with my microphone. But that's her big flex. I got AC here. Guess what? If you went back to Canada, you can have AC wherever you want. You could have it in a motel room. You could have it in a 1-bedroom. So, hey, have AC will travel.
Like what your idea of happiness is most likely won't be the same idea for you, you know? like the same idea of happiness for someone else. I hated the villa.
Ooh, look at the name in the chat. So for those who are not aware, there was a YouTuber. She went by the name Life by Jen. And unfortunately, Jen passed away a while ago. She was also super, super morbidly obese, and she passed away from complications relating to her obesity. So here's this person in the chat, Life by Chins. And I'm sure Chantal's going to see that and not be happy with it.
I remember hating it. Like sometimes I miss it now, my room and things, but I hated it. Like it was such a pain in the ass to clean.
You never clean. What are you talking about? She never cleaned her house ever, to the point where she had many box mountains, and she was so lazy. She and Pete were so doggone lazy. And by the way, he didn't do anything either. So that house should have been spotless. But she was so lazy. She had so many box mountains of like Amazon boxes that just were not broken down. She actually paid someone to come in and break down all the Amazon boxes, and she gave them $500 to do it, when that's something that she and Pete could have done for free.
Hi, Vanna. Don't worry about it. Life by Chins. It's not your, like, with a name like that. What do you think what kind of life do you live? I wonder.
She gets real upset when people compare her to Jen. But Chantal, listen, people are comparing the two of you because of the similarities. Because you are both super morbidly obese. She was very sick. You are extremely sick. You're making yourself worse. Even the face. I know you've heard the comments about one side of your face more swelled up and bigger than the other. She had the same condition. I'm not exactly sure what causes that, but yours is much more pronounced. So that there are similarities. So you're bothered by somebody with the handle Life by Chins, yet you're not looking at what happened to Jen and saying, I don't want that for me. You've got your foot to the gas pedal with your diabetes and the sugar and the donuts. So why get upset over a name when you're the one wrecking your health?
What kind of future do you have? Get a life. You know, what we see is what you show us. I don't show you a lot. But actually, if you look at our couples channel, if you look at my vlogs, I've done a lot more than most people on here with all of my health problems.
You travel around to different places, but every place you went to, you essentially found a room somewhere, you plopped yourself down, and you ate yourself stupid. You didn't get out and explore and do a whole lot of things unless you had to.
I've been to Thailand with all of my health problems. I've traveled back.
And you were miserable. You were miserable in Cuba. You were extremely miserable in Thailand. Every place you go, it's misery, misery, misery because of your health and because of your weight. You want to travel, yet you make it to where you're not going to have fun traveling. And anybody that travels with you, they're not going to have fun either.
Back and forth between Canada and the US, Canada and the Middle East many times. We have a whole couples channel seeing a lot of Kuwait. We've been to the towers, we've been to beaches, we've been camping, we've done a lot of things. I've been on ATV at my weight.
And that ATV barely moved.
I mean, like, let's see the haters go on ATVs.
I would love to. Give me one. I'll do it right now. You know what, Chantal? You know what I did the other day? I went out on my bike, a 10-speed, a thing that you can't use right now because, you're not active. But I went out on my 10-speed and I rode about 4 miles to the store and back. And it was hot. I want to see you do that. You're bragging about going on an ATV. Take a bike ride. Can you take a bike ride? Can you walk on a treadmill? Can you swim? Do you have any mobility? Do you have any health? Is your breathing gotten better? Like, you're using all these things as a flex. Give me an ATV. I'll get on one right now and tear this place up. I'll do donuts in the yard and have fun doing it and film the whole doggone thing. What is the big deal about an ATV? Anybody can do it.
Do it in the desert. I've done a lot of things, so I'm not a religious extremist. I'm not any more religious extremist than anybody who's Christian. I don't understand.
Okay, like I'm not here to talk about religion or beliefs and all that, so we're just going to skip this part. Next.
Like in the house. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like no distractions whatsoever, I guess, maybe. Yeah, burkini bees. I don't know if like Temu is true to size. I don't know. Shave, like I was thinking of getting her belly shaved because her hair is really long. Who would get custody?
Sounds like she needs her belly shaved because it's matted. Same thing that happened to BBJ.
The couch. Night swim bees. Been feeling well. Number one.
Okay, you know what? I'm making an executive decision. And here is the executive decision. I'm just going to cut this off here because she's just blah, 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 blah. So we'll just end it here. This react is almost 3 hours long anyway. There's nothing groundbreaking or innovative or creative here. If she were having a full-on meltdown and going off, y'all, I'll stick with every single second of it. But if it's just the same old, So we'll cut it off here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this react video. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. And once again, before I leave, thank you again to One Salty Beach for introducing me to Mr. Richard. Is it what? I want to get his name right. Richard Grannon. I'm going to leave a link for his channel, for his video in the description. Please check out his content. It might help some of you out there that needs help. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.